Did a single cask of wine really destroy the English monarchy? We're often told the White Ship disaster was just a tragic medieval accident, a Titanic of the Middle Ages, but history suggests something darker. This wasn't just bad luck, it was arrogance, excess, and one reckless night that plunged England into chaos. November 25th, 1120. The heir to the English throne is dead, not in battle, not in rebellion, but because a party went too far. This isn't just a story about a shipwreck, it's the true story of how one drunken night erased a dynasty and ignited a civil war so brutal it became known as the Anarchy. King Henry I was no fool. He was ruthless, brilliant, and feared. He seized the throne, crushed his rivals, and blinded his enemies, literally. But he had one fatal weakness. He put the entire future of England into one man, his only legitimate son, William Adelin. William was the golden boy, the future king, the hope of the Norman Empire. England's stability rested on his survival. But golden boys often believe they're untouchable. Henry had conquered armies, but he was about to learn a cruel truth. You can't conquer fate. It began in the harbor of Barfleur, France. Waiting at the docks was a sleek new vessel, the White Ship. Fast, modern, and prestigious. Its captain, Thomas Fitzstephen, proudly claimed his father had once carried William the Conqueror across the Channel. Now he begged for the honor of carrying England's future king. William accepted, but discipline collapsed before the ship even left shore. Wine flowed freely, too freely. William, fueled by youth and arrogance, ordered alcohol given to everyone, nobles, sailors, guards, even the captain. The docks echoed with laughter, shouting, and drunken bravado. This wasn't a royal voyage anymore. It was a floating celebration. One man noticed the disaster forming. Stephen of Blois, William's cousin, watched the chaos unfold, claimed he felt ill, and stepped off the ship. Remember that name. Leaving that party early didn't just save his life, it would eventually win him a crown. At last, the White Ship pushed off into the night. It was late, it was dark, and nearly everyone aboard was drunk. The crew boasted they could outrun the King's own ship, which had already sailed. 50 intoxicated oarsmen drove the vessel forward at full speed, fueled by pride and wine. They didn't even make it a mile. The White Ship slammed into the hidden Quillebeuf rock. Wood splintered, the hull ripped open, freezing seawater rushed in. Panic erupted in the darkness. Screams, prayers, crashing waves, total chaos. Yet somehow, William Adelin escaped. His guards forced him into a small lifeboat. He was alive, safe, still the future of England. Then he heard a voice calling out over the screams. Someone he recognized, a woman in terror, a noble voice pleading for help. In a moment of bravery, or fatal compassion, William ordered the boat to turn back. He tried to save others. As they approached the wreck, desperate survivors swarmed the lifeboat, clawing for escape from the freezing water. The small boat capsized under the weight. It vanished beneath the waves. No battle, no glory, no heroic legend. Just darkness, silence, and a drowned dynasty. By morning, only one man had survived. Not a knight, not a noble, but a butcher from Rouen named Berold, who clung to the ship's mast through the night, saved only by his thick sheepskin coat. Everyone else was gone. When the news reached King Henry I, he collapsed. Chroniclers later wrote that he never smiled again. But Henry's grief became England's curse. With William dead, the line of succession shattered. Henry tried to force the kingdom to accept his daughter, Empress Matilda, as queen. The nobles swore loyalty, but their promises didn't last. When Henry died, Stephen of Blois, the man who abandoned the ship, raced to London and seized the throne. The result wasn't just political tension, it was civil war. For nearly 20 years, England burned. Villages were destroyed, law collapsed, violence spread unchecked. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle wrote of this time, "Christ and his saints slept." William Adelin died trying to save others. It was a noble choice, but it unleashed years of suffering across an entire kingdom. So was the White Ship disaster just a tragic accident? The crash may have been fate, but the catastrophe was human. One reckless night, one hidden rock, one drink too many, and history was changed forever. If you love dark, forgotten history, hit like and subscribe to Hidden Epochs, where we uncover the truth behind history's greatest tragedies.